Hi, I'm Charlotte Harding. I suffered with postpartum psychosis after the birth of my first child and then went on to have postnatal anxiety after the birth of my second child. I'm the founder of Pmh Cymru, which offers perinatal mental health support in Cardiff and hopefully the rest of Wales soon.
My name is Mark Williams. I'm a founder of International Father's Mental Health Day. I'm proud to be on the board of Pmh Cymru. I actually went through postnatal depression myself after looking after my wife with severe postnatal depression, and I just campaign out for the fathers, so a more of a holistic approach.
I'm Francesca Clemo. I'm a mum to an 8-year-old. I've suffered with depression most of my life, but I had quite severe postnatal depression after he was born, and it's led to sort of bipolar and different sort of diagnoses over the years. I'm still struggling with mental health even though he's now 8, and that's why I like to get involved with Pmh Cymru.
Hi, I'm Barbara Cunningham. I suffered postpartum psychosis after the birth of both of my children. I accessed a mother and baby unit that was in Cardiff at the time. It took me a long time to get over both incidences, and now I've become involved with Pmh Cymru, and I'm a trustee.
My experience with perinatal mental health, where to begin?
Start?
Well, I never knew that postpartum psychosis existed when I was pregnant, and with a diagnosis of bipolar, I was already thinking, I know I'm gonna get ill. Moods everywhere, and during the pregnancy I felt quite stable at the beginning, but then I found that around halfway through my pregnancy I started to sort of be a bit paranoid, like I was hearing something from another room. So I asked the perinatal psychiatrist that I had at the time, I'm a little concerned about what's going on. So they recommended I went on an antipsychotic whilst I was pregnant. I didn't want to take it.
Do you know, were you starting to think, I don't want to take medication while I'm pregnant? What if in 10 years down the line they decide that actually it did do some damage? And it's really scary. Really scary.
I just didn't know what to do. So I ended up not taking the medication. Went on to have my son after a long labour. Went on to develop postpartum psychosis, which completely took over our family life. There was no mother and baby unit at the time, so it was just a fact of my husband having to look after me.
I was sectioned under the Mental Health Act.
Because of postpartum psychosis.
Yeah, my husband had been trying desperately to get help for me, and every time somebody came to the house, it was somebody that had never met me before. So they had no basis to compare my mood to. No, nothing at all. And one day, a locum doctor turned up, and I had worked prior to my pregnancy in a large company in Cardiff, and we had our own company doctor. And when I came down to the kitchen, sat at the table, was my company doctor. And of course, straight away, after knowing me for 10 years, he could see there was something severely wrong.
I got to a point where I was convinced that my husband was completely against me.
Yeah,
I thought that he was drugging me.
And my parents.
Yeah,
I remember falling out with my parents about it. I wouldn't speak to them. I didn't want David to speak to them. And like you say, when they were speaking, they were plotting against me. Yeah. And it was a very, very scary place to be.
6 years I suffered in silence until my body actually shut down then. So, I was using drink, it was anger and I think a lot of fathers' behaviour needs to be picked up. So why is that father behaving as angry, or he doesn't want to be involved with the child? The simple fact is, he feels, his impulsive thought, he's going to hit the baby or something.
For me, every time I became ill, it took me around 13 to 15 months to fully recover. Because what happens in postpartum psychosis is you initially have a high and then you crash so low. And each time it's happened to me, it's become worse.
Until I had him, I was quite excited. I was having this baby, and I never thought I'd have a child. I never planned to have a child because of my history of mental illness, because of depression over the years and how severe it's been. I thought, no, I'd never have a child. I'd never do that to a child. Why would I want to bring a child into this world? Because you have an ugly view of the world, don't you? Then it all went, and I met Mr. Right, and thought, oh, my life's turned round now. I'm over it. I really thought I was over it, and I was never going to get depressed again. And my pregnancy I was excited. I was like, oh, I can't wait to meet him. And then he came when I was in his bubble for a couple of months, and then I stopped breastfeeding. And all of a sudden, it was so strange. It was like I didn't recognise myself. I looked in the mirror one day, and I didn't know who that person was. I didn't recognise my body. I didn't understand why my body was changing, why it wasn't going back to how I was before. I didn't understand why I was feeling so anxious about his future. Something's going to happen to him. He's going to die. We're going to get knocked over in the road if we go out. All these things. Something's going to happen to him. What if somebody takes him? How can I protect him if I'm not right by him? All these thoughts became all-consuming, and that's when my postnatal depression hit.
I found it really hard to go to mother and baby groups and singing groups, and I wanted to do the best for my child. And I wanted to be sociable, and I wanted to meet people, but I felt I had nothing in common with normal mums, and I just felt so desperately lonely.
I used to look at other mums and I used to think, look, they've got it together. They've got their
You're
baby
so
bag
lucky.
sorted.
Your
kid
You
looks
don't know
nice
that.
and
This is
clean.
just what you're
It's what
imagining.
you're imagining in your mind. And I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself, I'm hot, I'm sweaty. I don't think I've left the dummy at home. I've left the milk. I'm a nervous wreck. No, when I was living with postnatal anxiety and I couldn't go outside, I just started to write things down on the computer, writing down my thoughts and feelings. And then a lot of people started following the blog posts that I was putting up about how I was feeling. And then a lot of people were coming to me saying, I need support, I need help, I need support, I'm local to you, can we meet up? So all of a sudden, my head just went into this, I don't know, transition. And all of a sudden, I thought, there needs to be something. I know this sounds stupid, but I think it's why I'm here. Because, I have attempted to take my own life a couple of times. And at the time, I've always thought, oh, it didn't work. Why? But I know that there's a reason, there's a purpose to me and why I'm doing this. So setting up Pmh Cymru was the start.